Thank you for coming and joining the live. We're going to talk about shadow work today. If y'all end up thinking this is fire, let me know by giving me some fire. I have a guest today, the one and only, our moderator is in the building, and this is our second moderator. Our first producer just already arrived, and Godi, thank you so much for coming to the live to help us moderate. And thank you for the heart, and Godi, I appreciate you so much. Hold on, I want to adjust because I want to make sure that we can both be seen perfect. So this is our second moderator, and one and only does nails, Quinn.
Hi, my name is Quinn. Second moderator of this chat. I'm also a friend of Jasmine. I also do my own stuff on the side as well.
Thank you so much for joining Majestic Chaos, and today we're going to simulate shadow work. What does shadow work actually mean to us? And we're going to try to provide 2 simulated examples of why shadow work becomes necessary later on in life, because a lot of people end up mistaking shadow work for being in pain, and that's not necessarily true. Okay? So you want to tell them what shadow work is?
Yeah, okay, so we're going to get into the definition of what shadow work is. So shadow work is the process of healing wounds after it's have been formed, and then overcoming those wounds, and then believing, knowing, and then feeling like you deserve better, like deep within your soul that this no longer resonates with you and that you are ready to level up.
Yes, and also I want to add to that, because it's very easy to just kind of say that generally. That's from a logical standpoint, but you have to understand and feel and know and believe it. Like when I say those things, when other people say those things, it's a matter of, do you want to hold on to the things that are harming you day in and day out, or do you want to begin to ask yourself the right questions to begin to heal them? Because a lot of people don't really want to go under the covers and look at what's under the rug. They just want to shove it back in. But eventually what does end up happening is, against our control, it will overload. You will not be able to escape it. And one of the ways that you can make sure that you're solid, stable, grounded, also make sure that you are able to just kind of cleanse and reset that palette inside of yourself when you're overloaded with too much that you're harboring in, is through the process of shadow work. It's really important. Okay, so
I have a question.
Go ahead.
Why do we have shadows?
We develop shadows because of the wounds that come to us in our day-to-day experiences, as every single person is an individual. And when something seriously bothered you and you did not voice yourself, or you did not act according to how you wanted to act, defend yourself, all those things, right? Because you were taught a different way, that develops emotional and mental wounds. It also ends up leading to you blocking yourself, and it leads to you creating blocks inside yourself. And then the last part is, if it becomes such a really hard wound to hold on to, you end up negating your physical health because you have not processed or dealt with said wound.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it sort of makes sense. I feel like a lot of my wound stems from childhood, and it stems from like other people's beliefs kind of just put it on you, and then you carry that onto your adult, and that creates more of a deeper wound because a lot of the things that you go through covers it up.
Yes.
And there's like a deep rooted problem that you're not even looking at.
We try to put it under the rug. We're like, as long as it's under the rug, we can't see it, it don't exist. That's true for a time, but eventually it will build up and will cause pain. A lot of people do not like to acknowledge the icky wikis that we hold under the rug, or if we file it away in a sense. And so we want to be able to invite, and in a neurodivergent or safe way that does not feel like it's a chore or it's a task. We also want to make it aware that it's gonna be in your own time frame. You don't have to do it like in a set time frame. Everybody has their own time frames, because the whole point of shadow work is that you just acknowledge yourself, right? Like that you begin with yourself, that you are able to be able to hug yourself, because at the end of the day,
that's a good one. Growing up, never was a physical person, so like hugging myself and giving that to myself was so new. Took me probably months to get used to the idea of just like hugging myself.
That's insane.
Crazy.
I'm gonna take a bite real quick.
So for me, shadow work, in my opinion, is just wounds that you have, stored within you through other people that have harmed you and you haven't fully processed.
And Godi says it begins with yourself. Green heart. Ooh, who said for mankind? Wait, did I see that right? Oh, okay. For mankind.
Like, you carry that with you, and then that becomes your new belief of yourself. So whatever that, like, other people beliefs within you, or like people beliefs towards you, I guess, and that just creates a new belief system for yourself, and you have to unlearn it. And unlearning is the hardest thing anybody.
Oh my god,
it is so hard.
Which is part of shadow work process. Unlearning toxic behaviors that we were taught growing up. So hard. Also, you have to be patient with yourself. You're going to find impatience. That's just kind of part of it. But you will learn to unlearn things that hurt you. So Rick said, never done it before. So for someone that's never done it before, you might think, why is this beneficial to me? And it's really simple. I'm gonna simulate one example. And the first example that I want to simulate is emotions aren't me. Emotions are for the weak. Okay?
Oh, that's a good one. Okay.
So I want to. You'll be the bully, and I'll be the one receiving the bully.
Okay.
And your goal as the bully is, and this is for simulation purposes only. These are simulated and controlled versions of what you might have experienced in life and how you decided to handle it. And we're going to vice versa the roles, so because different people think different ways. I want to reiterate that if this is something that you cannot handle right now, I will see you in the next live. This is for people that are genuinely curious and ready to kind of experience or like have an open conversation about shadow work in the first place. Okay.
So for bullying, what do you? Are we doing a teenager? We're doing
whatever you feel.
Okay. Your hair looks ugly today. Like, that little like curly hair of yours is not cute. That like your eyes are kind of big and it's making you look so weird right now. Like, bro, your skin has scars. You got acne. You're not even perfect. Like, how do you live with yourself like that?
I really don't appreciate what you're saying right now.
Excuse me?
I don't appreciate it. I'm really triggered right now. I can't believe what you're just saying. I'm really angry.
Okay, why does that make you angry? I didn't do nothing wrong. I'm just stating facts.
No, you're not. You're bullying me. I hate it. Like, stop. You're pissing me off.
Well, what if I don't want to stop?
End scene.
Okay. I'm so hard to do. Oh my god.
Oh no, it's okay.
I'm so hard to say. Oh my god.
Okay. So we end the scene because a multitude of things can happen in that moment, okay? And one of those things is, at least where I grew up, punching occurred, like physical contact occurred, right? And that is an over influx of emotions. And the next thing that would lead to something of that nature would be the teacher in turn saying, oh my gosh, like, what's wrong with you? Why didn't you control yourself? You should have known better. That person was just poking at you. You need to learn to control your emotions better. Don't you, how are you going to make it in society? And you are negated from expressing your emotions because you weren't taught how to express them in a healthy manner. And that goes for so many people across the country and the world, honestly. So how would you handle the situation differently, or someone that's kind of already done with shadow work? But I'm skipping ahead. That would develop a wound. That would be a core memory wound, and whatever type of person that the simulated bully would be. So back then, I hated people that did not that wore Aeropostale or was too thin or anything that was like basically what's the main mainstream. That was mainstream. I rebelled against, and those were wounds that were outside of my control. I did not realize that I had been harboring those wounds from school or from bullies, whether they were in school or not. And it was detrimental to my health because I even stayed away from the color pink. I was such a
that's like the
discrimination.
Yeah, like that's like the female person. Mood. I was like that too, where I was like, I am not like with other girls. It's giving very pick me vibes. You know, like it's very. I am not the one to do my makeup. I'm not the one to like wear dresses and all that stuff. And now, coming from a healed place, I deprive myself of all those. Like,
of being feminine.
Yeah, of just being feminine, of just being a girl.
Yep.
Nothing is wrong with that.
Yep. And it led to me closing my emotions off. And it also led to me, thank you so much for the follow, Drama. I so appreciate you. And if this is touching anyone, I hope that y'all will consider supporting. But before we can even get there, I want to help y'all actually be able to process. So I know we're talking about the simulation still. So that would develop a wound. You may or may not be aware about that. And there would be multiple situations day in and day out where you would experience these things, and you are gaslighted into believing that this is the only way because of the people that are around you, and it sucks. It's not fun, and you are given a specific way of being, eventually becoming robotic, because that's the only way you can function in society.
And especially when you tell them to stop and they kept on doing it, and then you just feel so powerless because no adults would want to help you. No one wants to like stand by your side because they're afraid they might get bullied too. So it's really you against the bullies, and like you're fighting for yourself. You know.
So then it leads to thoughts of harm. You know, you stop seeing yourself as human, and it leads to even more detrimental thoughts. Like, it led to really, really dark places for me. But another thing that it did for me specifically, but I also understand that there's a huge multitude of people that do not act this way, it led to a deep-seated rage and anger problem.
Against the world, against females, against like literally anybody, against feminine in a sense, or for me it was more like anyone who feels so happy all the time.
Yes.
Because I'm like, why are you so happy all the time?
Yeah,
like,
you must be fake.
Yeah, like you must be fake. And that's what I learned, that through when you're so wounded, you can't feel what other vibrations are feeling. You think it's fake, and it's not. Like, it's sometimes that's genuinely how they are.
You're even gaslighted into believe that you having emotions is a bad thing. Like, for example, oh my gosh, you're reacting to this, like you're just so sensitive. How many times have people heard that one?
Like, you're overreacting. I was just playing it as a joke.
Yeah.
That is
How
not
many
okay.
times have we heard that one? So these can lead to wounds. These can lead to anger. This can lead eventually festering enough. Sorry for the burp, y'all. I did have an energy drink. This can lead to festering, right? And so, or it can lead to personality type number 2. I'm going to be the bully, and you're going to react.
All right.
So this is a non-rage person.
Non-rage. Okay.
So who's oh my god, what's up with your dumb pom-poms? What's going on with you? Like, oh my god, you're so fat. You're like, that's gross. Why are you showing your body? Why'd you wear makeup today? You look so dumb. Are you gonna say anything? Do you even talk? Are you gonna react? Hey, I exist. Hello? Yeah, you're just a freak. You're just so weird. Yeah, you know you're a freak. This is why you're gonna be alone forever. Okay, simulation over because someone was hurt.
Oh, it don't hurt that bad. Now that, like, it just doesn't bother me as much when people say that now.
Yeah. And that's the process of shadow work, is that it can go in one ear, not the other. But back in the time, when you don't know any better, you've never been exposed to it, it hurts.
It hurts.
It hurts. And you can't even say that it hurts because our society is built that, like, oh, like, you have to take it. Like, what?
Yeah. And I feel like they don't teach you how to, in a sense, process those emotions. Like, if you don't have anyone to
Healthily.
go to, healthy to go to, or a safe space to go to, how are you able to process that?
Yeah, because they teach us in society to go from 0 to 100, literally, with the influence that's out here in this world, like whether it's dramatized movies, etc., or when it's as super serious trigger warning, when it's something as really upsetting as like school shootings. It leads, like, it goes to a wild event. So we want to provide some guidelines on keeping away from not believing that you can't overcome this. We do not condone bullying.
Oh no.
We do not.
No.
And we want to be able to give people power back and be able to instill love inside yourself. Because I had none growing up at all.
Can we touch base on the bully themselves? Because I feel like you have to be so hurt in order to, like, inflict that hurt onto others.
We'll talk about it or you can. I want you to talk about it really quickly.
Okay. So, for me, I feel like bullying stems from something that you're dealing with at home, or you see it in other people. You might think it's cool just because, like, you're trying to get, whether it's like attention, you're trying to fit in, you're trying to please someone. That's everything, like, falls under that umbrella. And I feel like when
Hi Kiwi. Sorry.
Oh yeah, hi Kiwi. And then when I see people that are, or like bullies themselves, they have this hurt that they can't communicate. And so in order for them to, like, want to fit in, and for them to, like, feel that, whether it's like loneliness inside their heart and wanting to fit in, like, they do that onto others so they could themselves fit in. But,
oh my gosh, social pressures of being horrible people. So it develops toxic influences, toxic practices, and it's a vicious cycle out here. We all know. Most of us have lived through some version of it. So thank you all for liking the live, and please consider sharing the live. If anyone, you might know anyone that might be interested in this talk. Let's continue. So, okay. So we know the process. Now that we've talked about one simulation, we might only get to do one, and we'll do a second live. But I really want to start rolling into certain things that we want to do during shadow work. Because a lot of people have it misconstrued about what shadow work really is, and then when they figure it out, shadow work is not you staying in these negative emotions. Shadow work is the process of you overcoming this and beating the odds, beating the statistics, and telling yourself that you deserve better. And that's going to look individual to each and every person, and there's going to be multitude of examples out here, and this is one example, and hopefully this helps and resonates. But I think that it needs to be talked about more, and I also invite people to understand the power of shadow work. Okay, it is the transition of self-sabotage and hate to self-love and self-respect. Okay? It is the actual transition.
The little bridge between.
It's the bridge.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the actual death and rebirth. Okay, so you want to tell them the steps?
So the first step is realizing or asking the right question. So that's like realizing, why are you feeling this way, and do you want to stay feeling that way? And like just asking, why do I feel this way? Why do I act this way? It might be like one little thing that ticked you off, that just like have your emotion exploded, and then you come out of that like panic attack or whatever it is, and just asking, why was I so triggered? I feel like that was like the part of shadow work for me, at least, was like, why do I feel so sad all the time? Like it just clicked, like literally one time I was laying in bed and that thought just popped into my head, like, why am I feeling so sad? So that's how I kickstarted my shadow work journey.
For me it was like, why did I react that way? Why did I behave this way? What is going on with me that I like am shaking? Because I could not handle that being in the same vicinity as someone that was so different from me made me shake, but not in crying, in anger, like serious, like serious, like rage.
Oh my god.
I can't say the word,
yeah.
But you know that rage, that deep-seated rage of like, I want to destroy you. Just insane. And like intense focus. So yeah, that's how. And then another thing that came with the realization was I felt there's gonna be a moment. This is the part that you must overcome. Your ego or the parts of you that are damaged are going to tell you in this moment, you cannot change. That is false. Not true. You can change, you can heal, and you can overcome this.
It's the fear of change, and it's the fear of, I have this, my personality is based off of whatever I have at the moment. And that fact of changing scares people to actually do the work.
Yeah. Or if you're not ready, a lot of people that are in the angry stage do the blame game of, well, I am a compilation of these things because of all of these series of events and people that did this to me. And it's like, okay, how much of that has controlled your life though, and your life decisions because of what was done to you? And are you happy with the quality of life that you have right now? If you are not happy and you do want to, you take it at your own pace to reintroduce levels of happiness and trust and joy. So that all comes with realizing. We obviously can go into more detail in another live, but the next we gotta get the
yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay, allowing the uncomfortable feeling to hold space. So that feeling of feeling like sad, of feeling like, oh, this is so scary, I don't know what I'm feeling, but I'm feeling it. You just feel it out. That part of feeling uncomfortable, that's what people do. Because of the uncomfortableness that you experience.
Other emotions that people like to stay away from are humiliation, embarrassment. They like to stay away from frustration, confusion, or to feel like they were one-upped, like someone was smarter than them or scammed them in some way or shape or form. A lot of people cannot sit with it and will make excuses for what occurred instead of just like holding space for the uncomfortable and expressing this emotion. They try to brush it off and make excuses or blame the system, and then they don't actually end up dealing with any of their emotions. Instead, they just brush it off, which is common, unfortunately.
I'll add something to this as well. So the uncomfortableness is the unknown. So for a lot of books that I've read, what they talk about is, psychology-wise, the human mind looks for things that we think and we confirm it through external things. So like what we see, we have to confirm. And for someone who's going through this healing journey alone, it's very, very uncomfortable.
You're not alone.
Like, you know, like in your inner circle, or like the things that you see just like day to day without technology, you don't see that. And that's the unknown, that's the uncomfortable, at least for me, because it's not modeled for like my old friend group or like people around me until I start asking the right questions
and coming into the right community.
Yes, coming into the right community as well. Yeah.
Oh, touching base on that, you can find your safety in this room. In this chat, we welcome you. And Godi says that I feel like that's a lot of people. Exactly. And Godi, thank you for saying that. It takes courage to say that. It's not easy to even comment on uncomfortable, icky winky feelings of this nature or topics. But we want to make it safe. We want to make it comfortable. And we want to start a community for people to be able to... if another route that people end up going is they end up turning to addictions when they want to avoid their problems. So that you're not sitting in a chair admitting, like bearing your soul out to strangers, and yes, that can be really healing, but those like meetings over there, those are personal, secretive, you know, shadow work sessions essentially, because they have steps as well. So continue.
Forgiving of self. So you have to forgive yourself for, you know, all the wrongdoings that you did when you were hurt, because it's normal. We're human beings, we make mistakes, and that's okay. As long as you forgive yourself, hold accountability, and change, that's where like you start changing as a person. Your principles are changing. You're slowly unlearning why, and you're understanding why you did the things that you did, and you're not beating yourself up over it because you're hurt, and that's okay. Like what is it? Trials and errors. Yes. It happens.
Yes.
Yeah, like you're not made perfect, and you can't grow from being perfect. So forgive yourself, having grace, and being patient with yourself is the most, is the key, honestly. It's the key to shadow work. Yeah. So to also bounce off of that, another type of forgiveness is being able to review all of the actions that you've done that you cringe at, and holding space for them and not judging yourself for this thing. This is why I really want to reiterate shadow work. I almost said the wrong thing. Oh my gosh. Shadow work is not a bad thing. It's a good thing because you put yourself in a very safe space. Thank you so much for the rose. I so appreciate it. You are able to give yourself space to think about all of the things that society would judge you for, or you give yourself space, a safe space, to understand that if you were one-upped, duped in some way, you acknowledge that happened, and even working your way to accountability before you get there, because that's when you're already healed from it. First, you want to hold the space, and you want to allow yourself to breathe through this as you release these emotions, as you start the process of forgiving yourself, because it's not easy, as you stop judging yourself so harshly because of all of the things that you learned in life from bullies. But we'll talk about other wounds, because family dynamics are very, very key also. So what's it called, for the forgiveness part, when you start stepping into self-love, you start wanting to hold yourself accountable, but not in a bad way, more of like I have been really good and I know I'm down on the dumps, but I want to push through and have healthy versions of accountability, because if I can hold myself to this standard, I'm going to attract or meet people that also are going to heal themselves at this standard. The people that do not hold themselves to any standard, those people still need a lot of healing. I don't have the energy to continue to pick them up and myself up. This is when the transition of self-love happens, okay? This is when you start really seeing yourself as a person.
and stop judging yourself so harshly. Take yourself into consideration more than just the basic necessities of, I know, sorry, my bad. I need to eat, sleep, and I just live to work. No, there's more to you. You have a light in here. You have creative expression. You have the right to go buy crayons and draw, you know? Let's continue.
All right, so the last one is release. So let the emotions out. Whatever you're feeling, sad, let it out. If you're feeling depressed, you know, there's deeper wounds to why. Maybe it's anger, scream, do something, like let that emotion out, like release it. So with this, I feel like it comes with understanding on how you feel and processing that emotion of why you feel the way that you feel.
And once again, there are healthy ways to release. There is not just one way to release. You can release by working out, going on a long walk and just literally walking like all those negative emotions out, sitting under a tree. You can talk to crystals. Spirituality really helped me, but if you are atheist or agnostic, this might not work for you. Or if you believe in God, I say talk to God yourself. That's my personal belief.
Everyone's their own religion.
Yeah,
exactly. Like a higher being out there.
You can find communities and groups that are specifically in like speaking about this and holding space for this. What else okay, so I'm gonna talk about a very vulgar example, one that happened to me personally. I think Quinn already knows what I'm about to bring up.
All right. Let's have space for you.
Okay. We were having a very intimate moment, and one of the since I have serious trust issues, you know, I gotta do my shadow work alone. I recently overcame a lot of triggers and allowed people in my zone, in my space, like this close. Anyways, but that took some building up because I was literally processing all this, driving myself completely crazy inside the truck. I'm not even kidding y'all. Literally going to stare at mountains all day and just
just going down the spiral.
So what's it called? I had a very intimate moment. We went out drinking and then we came back, and I was like, of all places, in the bathroom, and I'm sitting there and I'm just feeling so much towards my mom, and I can't even believe it, and I'm like screaming. I started screaming out of nowhere. So this is a form of release. It's not gonna be pretty. I'm just gonna tell you right now. It's the ugly. It's the ugly.
It's the vulnerability.
It's still releasing though. Yeah. Raw vulnerability. Like when you're like, just stay in, and it can't anymore. That's when it's like your body's like, I need to upchuck this.
It's like sometimes not even that. Like sometimes you just let it out. You have no control. Your body just spur it out.
Yeah, literally.
That little word splurs. Yeah.
So make sure you are safe and that you're not doing anything hurtful towards yourself or to others when this occurs, because it will, unfortunately. You know, we wouldn't be sitting here in front of you if it didn't actually happen. So I screamed and I cried and I literally threw my hands up and I was like, why is my mom like this? I don't understand. And I'm crying and I can't even see Quinn anymore. And Quinn is trying to bring me back to reality. And I am literally Delulu. I'm gone. I am literally out the window. Bye-bye. And I was literally just sitting there. I sat there for 3 hours. I thought I was there for 30 minutes. I was there for 3 hours in the bathroom, and I just let it all out. I cried. I literally started talking to spirit, and I was like, what is going on? Quinn came in and was like, do you want PJs? And I was like, leave me alone. Like, it was, but that is one form of releasing. And then like I just Quinn was sleeping on the airbed, and I came over. I was like, dude, like drenched, like literally like half naked and everything. My roommate comes in and is like, what is going on? Y'all okay? And I was like, a lot happened. And then I like re-spilled what happened and told everything to my roommate, because I was like totally in the verge of alcohol, like still like headachy and about to hang over. And I look at my roommate, I'm like, that's what happened. Knocked out. Literally. Bye. And then Quinn's like, Okay.
Put a blanket
Put a
over
blanket
you.
over.
Put a blanket. Make sure you have a pillow.
And that is one form of shadow work. Really raw example. I did not want to let those emotions go. I was like, no, they're not leaving me. And it was like, they're leaving. She literally looked at me and she's like, they are leaving. Like, what
You
are you
can't
doing?
hold back.
Like,
Don't even fight it.
like, I love you. Do you want me here? Make sure you don't vomit, you don't get sick or nothing. Get away from me! Like, it's... So make sure that, like, this will happen one way or another. So, and then there's healthier versions of...
A lot healthier versions.
Yeah. You want to bring up one of our talks or, like, when it's, like, therapy sessions happening?
Oh, yeah. So just having a safe space for you to, like, talk to someone who, in a sense, went through their shadow work journey. Although they kind of, for me, they were hard to find, but I had trust and faith in the higher spiritual to bring me my people, right? So a lot of the time I would talk to her about like my problems. I would just like, hey, I just need to vent a little. Can we vent?
I just wanted to do that once. Alex, we'll continue. I'm really enjoying what we're talking about.
So I would like, hey, can I just vent? Like I'm having like so much thoughts in my head, and she would just listen. Sometimes she would ask, do you need advice or do you want me to listen? I feel like that's so key when coming to someone who you're trying to either vent to, get advice to. Know what you're going to them for, whether it's venting, so they can have that like emotional space for you too. That's another one. I game, I crochet, I went shopping. Whenever, you know, like I talk to myself now. Because of you, I learned how to talk to myself, and it's so like liberating. Like I'm not holding anything back. I'm not judging myself for this.
Hi, Fernando. Say hi to Fernando.
Hi, Fernando.
Okay, continue.
Yeah. What was I saying? Shopping, not judging myself, and just like giving myself little pep talks because I worked so hard to come to this place where I'm not judging myself no matter what state I'm in.
Exactly.
It is so hard, yeah.
And Godi, our moderator producer, wants to say so many trials and errors. Yes, so many trials and errors. When you have that safe space, everyone has their go-tos, but make sure and be clear about the boundary, about what kind of conversation you're about to have with the person. That's super key, because you really want to establish and make sure that the person is going to hear you out, and that it's also a constructive kind of conversation and not just trauma dumping either. But there's going to be moments where it's like, hey, I feel like trauma dumping, can you emotionally handle this, you know, right now? And it's like, you know me, I'm gonna emotionally handle it, like let me mute, beep, like go.
Like go ahead. But sometimes
therapy,
there's not. Sometimes that person can say no, and that's totally, you know, not their fault, not your fault either, because they're also a human being. They might be going through stuff, and it's okay to say no. Yeah, that is definitely a boundary to have. Yes, to say no.
But before you get there, you have to love yourself.
Yes.
Yeah, to voice that.
To voice, oh my God, to voice your boundary and to say, hey, I'm not comfortable with this. Don't do it. And the people who love you will respect you. That's the one thing. Whatever you want to do, no matter how crazy it is, they'll love you and they'll support you.
Yeah. And they'll palate cleanse also, because I need palate cleansers. I love to make the people I love laugh. And also, so when it comes to you having to do it alone, because there's going to be moments that you are, not only are you going to have to, you're actually going to feel drawn to and say, you know what, I want to spend some time with me. Like, I give my time to too many people. You can meditate. You don't have to just sleep, but first make sure and sleep. Like, please rest. And then you can, if cleaning is your go-to, if that makes you feel better.
Journaling.
Yeah. Walking is a big one for me. Running is a big one if you lean more on the angry side. sometimes taking on a class like punching. I know my really good friend, her husband boxes.
Whoa, that's so cool.
Yeah. Hey Allison! Oh my god! Thank you for coming. Her husband boxes to let it out and it brings focus and it brings clarity. So like the other thing about emotions is like you cannot avoid them. Like we are human, we feel things. Like we're not robotic, and people that say otherwise, they aren't in the best place. Even if they're in the best physical shape in their life, I would stand back and say, are you in the best mental, emotional, and spiritual shape of your life? Because you have to keep it up with all of them, and you have to allow time, rest, and rejuvenation, rebirth moments, and shadow work moments for all of them. Okay, so for someone that's like, you have to just push through it, that doesn't work for everyone. It really doesn't.
It only works for a short amount of time. Yes, you'll get results, but it's not sustainable.
Are you gonna be happy?
Yeah.
Or are you gonna be like, are all these mental problems, emotional problems, and all these other problems still gonna exist?
I feel like it's just another method of sweeping it under the rug.
Yeah.
Not dealing with what's at stake and what's in front of you because it's uncomfortable.
And it's also like, how many years do you want to spend sweeping this under the rug? Do you want to end up on your deathbed literally letting it all out, and that's like everything you have to say? Like, I'm sorry to be so grim, it's just that I really think about these things when I don't feel like overcoming something. It's not easy to motivate myself to come back to shadow work, and then when I'm literally in the process of shadow work, I'm like, why was I delaying this? Why was I avoiding this? This feels so great. Like, I'm literally recharging, and I'm literally giving myself space to feel like better and fix my relationship with myself, because there's fear, failure more than exactly. And so like, if you spend so many years just brushing it under the rug, it's literally gonna come out one day. That's just inevitable. Because you need emotional intelligence to some degree to be able to function as a human, not even just in society and all this stuff. Like, there's already so many limitations in our day-to-day life where you have to be composed that it leaves no space.
Especially for perfectionists.
Especially
like, you're always like wanting to be so like proper, or like there's like an image you're trying to, in a sense, portray to others, that you're forgetting about how you truly feel. Masking. A lot of people put on masks.
I mask
like so much because they're trying to fit in, or like they just don't feel safe.
Oh, and thank you for saying that. For neurodivergent people, releasing your emotions is going to look different. You're actually going to stim. I stim a lot, I fidget a lot, I move a lot, because it's physically releasing out of my body. Like, physically, I'm like, bye. So, you also understand that if you stim, whether you're neurodivergent or neurotypical, it is a form of releasing. Screaming really helps. Like, if you just are out in the middle of nowhere, like, make sure you're safe, do it safely, and plan ahead, obviously. And then literally just to the trees. It is like, afterward.
It's so like, wow. For me, I do it in a karaoke room. Scream.
No, sing your heart out.
Sing your heart out, dance your heart out. It's like some sort of movement. I feel like that's why people say that, hey, go exercise, because it's releasing. Like, you're moving, and your body is like putting in new energies and just like pushing the old ones out.
And to wrap this up, because we got our producer's like 5 minutes, and I'm like, I totally understand. We all have time, our time schedules, and oh my god, thank you for saying that, Allison. Oh my gosh, and thank you for the comments. So continuing on.
Okay, should we wrap it up?
Yeah, okay. I think we did already.
We did.
This is part 1 though.
Yeah, this is part 1. Let us know if you want us to do more in depth.
Oh yeah,
we go on and on about this.
Yeah.
Okay.
We really want to make it make sense that shadow work is not a process that is against you or that's gonna hurt you. It is actually a process that heals, helps, and moves you forward in life. Thank you for liking the live. I appreciate it. When will part 2 come out? Maybe this Sunday. If not this Sunday, next Sunday. But I'll announce it before to give everyone kind of a good heads up. And to end it, I was gonna say something. What was I gonna end it with?
Unsafeness. Did you talk about that?
What unsafe?
Like masking and how like you feel unsafe.
Oh yeah. Ooh yes. Since neurodivergent people have to mask so much of their life and so much of their time and function with all of the anxiety that may be internal, like tapping, moving, fidgeting, creating happiness. Oh, and making sure to reserve time to find joy. So I like ice cream, okay? I like laughing, and I like rolling on the floor like a weirdo. So I make time for that.
I like to lay on the floor.
I like to lay on the floor. I talk to the spirits. I talk to the energies. I talk to rocks. I don't care if I look a certain type of way. I could look crazy. It's fine. It's my reserved time to recharge. And it helps me because I'm like, finally someone understands. I'm like SpongeBob with the 3 fingers. Oh my God, you guys are my best friends.
But this one's Jack, this one's Mary.
Yes, I roll on the floor. I will literally be like a roly-poly. She has seen it.
Yeah.
I'll be like, can you clean the apartment? I can't think right now. And I'll literally roll. I'll just
roll in a circle.
I'm a roll ball. I'm a roly-poly, literally. And I do that for about 30 minutes. And then our other friend Hanbi's like, you guys want to go to Starbucks? And we're like, yeah. So
that's it.
That's it. Oh, another thing that I like to do that's out of pocket or out of box, because I got 2 minutes. 2 minutes, okay. Is I really like to go to the store, like the storage box store, open boxes and pretend like I am totally Delulu at the store, and I'm like
playing pretend.
Yeah.
I feel it's so childlike that like normal adults don't do anymore.
Yeah.
We lost that, creativity.
Yeah, because I'll be like, do I really want this box? I'll be like, what can I do with this box? And I start envisioning it, and then I start acting it out, and then I
start throwing it. You start like spinning it around.
I need to know what I have for my money. Like, I need to know, can this hold me? Because I roll, I trip, I fall. I need to make sure that this box is going to do its job. So that's what I do. Those are some neurodivergent things that I like to do. And Cody.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was today's first step into us feeling safe into shadow work, and I hope y'all enjoyed it. I love that y'all liked the live, and I can't wait to talk about step 2, because we get into the nitty-gritty.
Should we recap everything?
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so for those who missed it, shadow work, shadow 101, the process of healing after the wounds have been formed / overcoming them and believing, feeling, knowing that you and yourself deserve so much better.
Yes.
And then I can't.
I think you need a human-sized hamster haul. Yes, I do. I really do. Thank you, Kiwi, for saying.
That's so cute.
I'm gonna be my little ball.
There's one on Amazon. Okay, the steps: realizing, asking the right questions, allowing the uncomfortable feeling to take place and to hold space, forgiving yourself of the wrongness you did while you were hurt, and then releasing that, whether it's like screaming, yelling, crying, whatever. Let it out.
Even holding hands
And
hugging.
Like, yeah.
Those are beginning steps. When you don't love yourself yet, try not to just completely hate yourself.
Yeah.
And those are beginning steps. But we'll get into that in the second one, okay? There might be this might be a 4-parter. I'm not gonna lie to you.
It's a lot.
It's a lot.
It's a lot of work.
Thank you so much for coming. This was our guest moderator producer, Quinn. Also does nails and does her own content. And we have our moderator and producer always in the comments. And Godi, thank you, and Godi. And Jody says, thank you, Quinn.
Oh.
And thank you all for coming, because we wouldn't be here if it wasn't for y'all. Like, we love you all. We send love, healing, and strength and resilience for whatever you're powering through right now, okay? And I hope you found this informative, and we hope to catch you in the next live.
Yeah.
This was Majestic Chaos, Jasmine,
And
Quinn.
this is Quinn.
Bye.
Peace out.